Have you ever wondered how people show up in meetings or on videos with those nice lower thirds? Well, in this video in our how-to series, I'm going to show you how you can do that in either by itself or with a companion app. Let's get started. And before we begin, I'm Michael Prokopka, Head of Customer Success at and this is what I'm talking about when I say lower third. Some people call it a chyron or a nameplate or a name tag. This is a nice stylish way to display some information towards the bottom of the screen. I guess the first question we should answer is why? Why would you want a lower third? Well, I think there's a couple of reasons. It can look cool, it can look professional, but it can actually save time. If you're in a meeting with a lot of people, you can skip some of the introductions by displaying your information. You don't have to remember everyone's names, but it also can be quite useful to display links in your lower thirds or include QR codes. I think there's a lot of reasons for them. Now I want to show you how you can do them, and I'm going to focus on three different methods. I'm going to focus on a method that's easy. You can do it natively in using only. A method that I call Plus, where you'll grab your favorite companion app to pair up with And then I'll finish with an advanced method where it's totally custom. You can go as crazy as you want. Let's begin with the easy method right now. All right, so this method can be done entirely in and I want you to think about it as manipulating text boxes. Adding text boxes, arranging them the right way, maybe stacking them on top of each other. Let me show you a few examples of what this could look like using only The first one could be like this. Very simple, your name and your title stacked on top of each other, one with a black background, one with a white. Or maybe you want something more transparent with your name below you. Maybe you want it on brand with a logo. What I want to do real quick is share my screen and show you how to accomplish building something like this directly in Hello, I'm down here. That's Async, me up there, who's going to show you how to do it. I'm going to play the video and get him out of the way so it's less confusing, and let's begin. So once you're in the app, I'm going to fade him out right now, less confusing. The first thing you want to do is find a text box. Add the text option. It'll come with some default text. Get rid of that and add your name. So type in your name. Now you have to pick what you want it to look like. There's plenty of styles. You can see right now it's default with a billboard. You can add a black background or a light grayish background behind it if you want, or you can go transparent. You can also change the style. I pick here the moderns. You can pick a white background. You can also switch to black. There's a bunch of options in here. Play around with them. Find the one you want. I'm going to go billboard with a transparent background. I also want to make it a little bigger, so I'm going to click the size button, size drop down, and change it to large. That looks good, so I'm going to hit done. Now I just need to resize. Drag a handle, make it bigger so it's all on one line. Now I'm going to stretch it down into a rectangle. Once it looks good, I'm going to grab it and put it into place down in the bottom left-hand corner. Next, I'm going to add the logo. So I go to Media up top, and you can either browse your computer or you can find, I have my logo loaded up before, drops it on screen with me. I can have total control of how I size it. So I'm going to grab that, put it in the right spot, and just make sure it's all lined up. I'll take it, make sure it's sized just right. And that's really all it is. Now what I want to do is fade myself back in and show one final thing. I'm going to move myself out of the way. There is an option right below me called Media on Top. Make sure if you're using a lower thirds, that option is on so the lower third stays in front of you. That's it. As a reminder, this is what it'll look like when it's done. And before we move forward to option number 2, one bonus tip. Go ahead and use another text box and throw where you're from and the weather in that corner because everyone asks you about it. All right, moving on to option number 2, the medium option, which I'm calling Plus because you'll need Plus your favorite companion app, whatever you're comfortable in. What I love about this one is the freedom to make it on brand. You're not limited by whatever colors you choose. I'm going to show you what that could look like. So here's an example of one that's more on brand with our colors, a little bit more customizations. And I want to show you how to do this as well. And what I think it might be helpful to show you before I get into it is actually what this one ends up looking like is coming in parts, where it's actually 4 parts, where one part you make in your companion app and the other 3 are text boxes, and you kind of build this like Legos here. So some apps that you could lean into here to use, you could use Photopea, which is a great app if you're more into the creative design. I'm going to use PowerPoint. I'm very comfortable in PowerPoint, and PowerPoint's great for this. Let me show you, share my screen, and make this lower thirds using PowerPoint and together. All right, here I am again down here. I opened up PowerPoint. Let's show you how this works. Basically, open up a blank presentation, and you're going to be working mostly with shape tools here. I like to stick with rectangles, but you can get creative if you like. You're going to be drawing your rectangles, piecing them together, picking your fill colors to put it on brand. That's the idea. Here's a couple examples of finished ones I made, one from me, one from my son. And basically what you're doing in PowerPoint is making the outline, making the backdrop so that you can put this in. So you can see these are 2 rectangles that I've put together, and I want to show the final step for how I put the last rectangle in. Just going to draw my last bit of rectangle where I'm going to include my email address. I want that to be black, so I'll go to fill color and click black. Now it's done. I'll make sure it's all fit together nice, but now you have 2 more steps. First, highlight everything and group them together so they're one image. then right click and hit Save as Picture. What you want to make sure is it's a PNG file, name it anything you like, and remember where you saved it. And now we're going to get it into so you can finish the job. Okay, and just like in option 1, we're going to find the media button in to find the file that you just made. Find that PNG file and upload it as a media file to and it'll be on screen with you. Then add your text boxes. To save time, I've already created them. I've made one for my name, my customer success team, and my email address. Now it's just a matter of putting the Legos together. So I'm going to take the file that I made in PowerPoint, drag it down here, and then just kind of shuffle my name into the boxes, put my title down in this one. If anything doesn't work, you can resize these texts. You can get creative with the colors of them. And now I just need to make myself bigger, so I'm going to use the size slider, move myself up here. And then don't forget, if you are in front of your lower third like this and you're blocking it, go ahead and check that media on top button on the right side of the app, and it'll make sure that it stays in front of you. Now you have a lower third, and that's what the finished product would look like. All right, and the last method I want to touch on today is when you want to go totally custom. Perhaps you're already a wizard in another editing app, like one of the Adobe products like After Effects or Photoshop or Figma or Canva. You can take your work there and add it into and this is when you can get really advanced and add things like links and QR codes. So let me just show you what some finished products of what these look like. I love this one. I use this a lot because this has a QR code and I can replace this for a couple things. Right now it's to my LinkedIn profile. Sometimes I put my Calendly link there. It just looks really sharp, on brand, nice imagery. Sometimes I do things like this where I make a name tag with some image, with some movement involved. And to actually make these, that's a whole nother video that maybe we'll follow up in this series to go through that. But if you already know how to work in those apps, they can all come into The thing I want to mention to you in this is once they're done, just figure out where you save them, find that media button in the top of the app, add it in, and then it's all about just making sure rearranging your stage appropriately and getting that media either on top or behind you, like in that nameplate. That's really it. You can get as creative as you want. So those are the 3 methods that I wanted to cover today. That is lower thirds in Thanks for watching this installment in our how-to series. And I'll round out by saying if you want more content, more inspiration, you want to hear about what awesome things people are doing at please join our community. You can go to community.mmhmm.app. And once you join, you'll even find a batch of lower thirds templates created by one of our fantastic team members in the resource section. Thanks for watching, and tune in to the next installment in our how-to series.